Paris Saint-Germain are now the sole leaders of the Ligue 1 Uber Eats after beating Brest in the west of France 4-2. Ander Herrera started the goal fest at the Stade Francis Leblay. Brilliant volley from the edge of the box. Paris doubled their lead through the inevitable Kylian MBAPPE, who headed in the second. That only his fourth headed goal in the French top flight. Brest did pull one back after a brilliant assist by Fev, who played in Franck HONORAT. Good strike by Franck HONORAT after that superb flick, and perhaps Keylor Navas with an uncharacteristic error in between the sticks. Idrissa Gana Gueye then scored a goal from very long range, which initially seemed to be a strike out of this world, even though the replays did show that the goalkeeper was at fault for a bad error. Brest once again showed their resilience by pulling a goal back, this time Benin international Steve Mounier with the strike as Brest pushed for an equaliser. However, Paris were able to strike on the counter-attack, and it was Angel Di Maria who wrapped up the victory with an emphatic lob. Brilliant from the Argentine, and Paris the only team in the league with 3 wins from 3. Angers were hot on the heels of the Parisians, but they came up against a much improved Bordeaux team who, after drawing 2-2 with Marseille, were able to take the lead against Angers. Paul Bernardoni beaten by a deflection on that occasion. The visitors were able to find an equaliser. Romain Thomas, the highest scoring defender in the French top flight, getting the equaliser just before the interval. It would remain 1-1 for the rest of the match. Angers now 2 points behind PSG. After demolishing defending champions Lille, Nice had the opportunity to move second in the standings by beating Marseille. Steve Mandanda kept OM alive in the match in the first half with some brilliant saves. The French international goalkeeper getting up smartly to deny Kasper Dolberg, but after losing possession cheaply, Marseille conceded the only goal of the match. Lotomba playing in Kasper Dolberg, and the Dane scoring his 3rd goal of the season already. A match that would finish in controversy, with crowd troubles forcing the Marseille players off the pitch. They refused to return, and the referee called a game early with the score at 1-0 at the time it was called. It was an absolutely sensational game between Lyon and Clermont. OL still looking for their first victory of the new campaign, and they were handed the perfect opportunity for a brilliant start against the promoted outfit after the penalty was awarded and then converted to Moussa Dembele. An own goal restored parity between both sides. Clermont conceded their first goal of the campaign in that action against Dembele, and the Frenchman was on cue again to restore OL's lead. If there was an element of fortune of the second, the third was a thing of beauty as Paqueta combined with Aouar and Bruno Guimaraes to score one of the team goals of the season. An absolutely brilliant strike and a brilliant move by OL. Lyon seemed to be cruising to their first victory of the season, but they didn't factor in Elsaban Rashani's superb brace in the final 10 minutes. The Kosovo man pulled one back and then scored the equaliser in the 91st minute to break OL hearts. Clermont moved joint second, 2 points behind PSG. It's been a torrid start to the new season for Monaco and for Niko Kovac, yet to win a match, and things didn't get any better against Lens. Ganago scored the opening goal of the match after a very fragile Alexander Nubel wasn't strong enough in the save. The German goalkeeper couldn't do anything about the second, with a very late strike by Simon Panzer. 2-0 the final score. In a fiery Brittany derby, Antoine Camboire's Nantes had a perfect opportunity to take the lead, only for Alfred Gomez to produce a fine save on Ludovic Blase's effort. The winning goal came for the home side as Martin Terrier found a pocket of space on the edge of the area after Santa Maria's powerful run and drive. The former OL man scored the winning goal. Question marks asked of Alban Lafont, but 1-0 for Rennes and their first win of the campaign. Montpellier were also looking for their first victory of the 2021-2022 season. It didn't start in the best of fashions as Lefebvre headed in the opening goal of the match for Lorient. Berthaud in goal, guilty of poor goalkeeping. Teji Savanier started a fantastic comeback for the hosts in the second half. A brilliant free kick by the French international. Andy Delors then provided an assist as he tried a spectacular bicycle kick which was turned in by Mavididi, the Algerian, the provider, and then the goal scorer with a good header from a corner. Delors, who could be on his way out of Montpellier, saying goodbye emphatically to his fans. Saint-Étienne took on defending champions Lille at the Stade Geoffroy Guichard, and there was something very familiar as Burak Yilmaz scored the opening goal of the match. The Turkish international already has 2 to his name in the new campaign. Jocelyn Courvenec happy with his team's performance in the first 45 minutes, but they were guilty of not putting away their chances, and so headed in the equaliser for Saint-Étienne late on. A 1-1 draw, which does no favours for either team. Metz and Reims were looking for their first wins of the new season. The visitors scored the opening goal, Conan putting it on the head of Matsuasi, the Zimbabwean, scoring with a brilliant header, but it was nothing compared to Maiga's strike from distance. An absolutely thunderous effort which salvaged a point for Metz. Frederic Antonetti and Oscar Garcia sent to the stands in that 1-1 draw. Bottom of the league took on second bottom as Strasbourg welcomed Troyes to the Stade de la Méno, and it was a match where the goalkeepers excelled with some brilliant saves, even though Matt Sels was beaten by Tousgar, the Tunisian, breaking the deadlock and rewarding Troyes for an excellent first 45 minutes. In the second half, it was all about Strasbourg. Kevin Gamero making a nuisance of himself, and Adrien Thomasson striking in the equaliser. The match would finish 1-1, with honours shared between two teams who pick up their first points of the campaign. It's a very strong result for Paris Saint-Germain, who are yet to see Lionel Messi and Neymar Jr. in action for them. The terrible start for Monaco continues, and of course that controversial result between Nice and Marseille. At the top of the standings, Paris Saint-Germain are first with 9 points. You need to take these standings with a pinch of salt because the result of Nice-Marseille is still unconfirmed, but Angers and Clermont are in joint second. At the bottom of the standings, it is Strasbourg and Troyes alongside Monaco. All three teams have just a 1 point. Looking ahead at week 4 of the Ligue 1 Uber Eats, Nantes will welcome Olympique Lyon. Saint-Étienne travel to the Velodrome to take on Marseille, and Paris Saint-Germain will be away to Reims.